me click.
Hey guys, what's up? My name is 8 Bullets and welcome back. Today, I wanted to take some time and take a quick look at drones. Yes, the whirring little eyes and ears of Rainbow Six Siege attackers everywhere. And take a minute, well, it will be slightly longer than a minute, and examine the pros and cons of these little suckers. Right off the bat, I'm going to say that personally, I don't like drones, but we'll get into that a bit more later on. Okay, so why don't we start off with what I consider to be some of the cons of the drones in Rainbow Six. Number one, the inconsistent physics. Now, I'm not talking about the actual physics engine used in Rainbow Six Siege, because that I think works absolutely wonderfully with the debris and the structural mechanics and the destructibility of the environment and everything like that. It's perfect. I'm talking about the actual basic laws of physics that apply to the drones in Rainbow Six. For instance, I can't say that I'm an expert or anything on remote drone design, but I'm pretty sure that they don't have afterburners on them. How on earth is it possible that as you're jumping through the air, you're able to turn, do a complete 360 with your drone, and then land? It doesn't make any sense to me. Once you're in the air, your momentum should just carry you from where you were to the point that you were looking at, and then based upon your speed or whatever, you get there. You shouldn't be able to turn and look around when you're in mid-air. That just defies the basic laws of physics. You don't have any forces acting upon your drone in mid-air because you don't have anything to create those forces. So, yeah. Jumping in and of itself should be an issue because, again, I'm not an expert in drone design, but from what you can see from the outside, there is no jumping mechanism. Maybe a flap pops open or an arm pings out and propels you upwards and onwards to your glory, but you can't see it. You can't even see it on other drones when they use it. I mean, I know there's a jump cooldown, and you kind of hear like a noise like a spring winding up, so maybe it's some kind of spring mechanism. But as far as I can tell, there's no actual physical mechanism to make your drones jump in the first place. And I'm just going to lump in there, movement of the drones doesn't always make sense. You can get stuck on a ledge that's maybe 1 inch high, but as soon as you go up some steps, you just shoot up them like it's no one's business, even though they might be 2 or 3 times the height of your drone. You don't even need to jump up them, you just race up them like it's a slope or something. So there's those little inconsistencies in the physics and the movement and just the relationship with the drone and its surroundings kind of bother me. And by bother I mean make me laugh, because the game is trying to be as realistic as it can be for a video game. So these inconsistencies are just funny to me. But that's enough being picky. Con number 2, which I suppose isn't a flaw with the drones, but rather with the gameplay surrounding the drones, which in my opinion is the same thing, and which I'm going to call realism of the maps. What on earth are the holes in the walls on all of the maps? I'm talking about those drone-sized rectangular cutouts that run through some of the walls or hallways on all of the maps. What is wrong with just having conventional layouts and making drones go through windows and doors? I mean, drones are apparently strong enough or heavy enough to break vases and scatter papers everywhere, so why couldn't they just bust through the wooden barricades that are blocking off the windows? I mean, you don't have to destroy them completely, but maybe a small hole that you could get through. You don't need to have these cutouts in the wall, because regular buildings don't have these cutouts. The only reason they're there is to make it easier for drones to navigate the maps and to find objectives. It's already pretty easy now to find the objectives. You just check all the regular spots and you find it. So I don't think it's necessary to have those cutouts on the maps. Maybe if they were worked in a little bit better, like I know some of the maps, the entrances to the building are like ventilation shafts or just air ducts in the building. If they were all like that, then that would be okay, but some of them are literally just rectangular holes cut into the wall so that your drone can get from one room to the next, which is just not realistic for me. Con number 3 about why drones suck: the placement at the beginning of rounds. Often I find that when you spawn in your drone, you are way too far away or in just a stupid location in comparison to the objective. Like, I think it's on maybe Consulate, I think. You can spawn in your drone on a neighboring rooftop. Like, why would your drone be up there? It's just an unnecessary amount of travel time you have to get into the actual building. I mean, not to mention the fact that sometimes all of your drones spawn in the same location, which you obviously go towards the nearest entrance to get into the building because you only have a limited amount of time to find the objective. And when, as a defender, you see 5 drones speed in under the doorway, you think, I think they've spawned over there, and then that leads to spawn kills by the enemy team, which is highly, highly annoying. Possible solutions: don't have drones spawn near the actual player that they're associated with. Have them all spawn in different locations away from where the players spawn in, to make it less likely that you're going to get killed as soon as you bring that little cell phone down. Or have them spawn right next to the actual building you're trying to get into. Why make us drive an extra like 10-15 seconds to try and find an entrance and to get in? That's just time that we should have had looking for the objective rather than driving across the terrain. That's just less time that I have to get in the building and to get spotting and get all those points. Speaking of spotting, con number 4: spotting inconsistencies. When spotting an objective, obviously you're just supposed to look at it and your drone does the rest of the work. However, too often you're either staring right at the objective and nothing is happening, or you die, as in your drone gets shot, and a few seconds later your dead drone somehow is still able to spot the objective and you get the points. Not so worried about the second one because you still get the points, but the first one is really annoying when you're trying to like jump around and survive and not get shot, and you're still trying to spot the bomb or the hostage or whatever the objective may be, and it's just not registering, and then you get shot. Very, very, very frustrating. I mean, being able to spot an objective through a destroyed drone is almost as bad as being able to ID enemies through broken cameras, which is ridiculous in and of itself, and just one of the many glitches that you can find in Rainbow Six. And glitches is going to be our con number 5. There are, like I said, many glitches in Rainbow Six, but a lot of them are associated with drones. Probably the most glitchy part of the game, actually, like when you launch your drone into the air and it just keeps going and just waves goodbye to you and goes off on its own little adventure into space, or when you throw it at the ground and it just falls away and just keeps falling and you kind of wave goodbye sadly to it as you watch it fall away. So I guess there aren't that many glitches associated with the drones, rather than the frequency that these glitches occur with everybody. I've seen them happen to virtually everybody, so maybe they could look into tweaking those just a little bit to make them happen less frequently. I mean, comical whilst they are kind of annoying when you waste one of your drones. And the final con I have for the drones is really, really picky, but the red lights situated on the front of the drone, I understand that they are a necessary evil because they would just be completely overpowered if they didn't have those on them, because they would be virtually impossible to see unless you saw them before they got to their hiding spot. But seriously, for an advanced group of counter-terrorists with all the coolest gadgets and gizmos, absolutely no one figured out how to tone down the glaring red "I'm over here" headlights smacked on the front of these drones. It's just a little bit of a design flaw in my opinion. So I'm actually just going to speed straight through the pros of the drones, because they kind of destroy all the arguments I had against the drones, but whatever, it's my video. Pro number 1, is the information that your drones gather. Without a doubt, they are the most key and unparalleled sources of information when gathering details about defenders, their IDs, the defenses they've laid down, and the location of the objectives. There's absolutely no substitute for the attackers for gathering that information. Even with your own eyes, you can only see what you're looking at on your screen, whereas your drone, you can travel faster and without the risk of dying throughout the map to locate what you need to locate. You would physically not be able to play this game without some source of information given to the attackers. Another pro would probably be their size. I think the developers nailed the sizing of the drones. Any smaller would make them too easy to hide and or hit, and any bigger would probably cause the inverse. They would be too hard to hide and too easy to hit, like Twitch's drone. Twitch's drone is just even worse than regular drones. Sure, you can poke people with your laser, but it's so massive and cumbersome and you can't even jump that it's just way too easy to hit. Pro number 3 for drones, pebbles in their shoes. When a well-hidden drone is repeatedly spotting the enemy, it is the most annoying and frustrating thing as a defender. You feel unsafe, you're distracted looking for it, and it really takes your focus away from killing the attackers, and you switch that focus to rooting out this annoying drone that's spotting you. It kind of becomes a personal vendetta, you against this annoying drone. And another pro of the drones is just the fun moments you can have with them, weaving between people's feet, steking them out, causing them to shoot each other or shoot the hostage or something like that. They just provide a lot of good laughs. When you watch someone who's just completely weaving their way between defenders, it makes for a good giggle. But that's it from me when it comes to the pros and cons of drones. Can you think of anything I've missed or disagree with? If you can, feel free to leave it in the comments section below. Maybe you could provide your insight on the future of drones. I know the next DLC package for Rainbow Six is coming out sometime around April. Do you think any changes will be made? Do you think any changes need to be made? We do live in an age where most traditional drones we use can fly. Do you think we'll see some kind of flying drone implemented into Rainbow Six? Again, any comments or thoughts, leave them down below. Thank you again so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe and like the video if you did and want to see more. That's all from me for today, so I guess have a good one, guys. 8 Bullets out.